WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's not just the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Oh, nothing. Just ready for the break.
This break cannot come at a better time. And ironically, nothing much for us to talk about today, just because we last recorded Thursday after the game, so there's only one game that happened between then and now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be much better coming up here, but we'll see. But yeah, so let's just get right into it.
Yeah, the Hawks played 7 seconds of a hockey game.
National TV.
We knew it was going to be bad.
Defending Stanley Cup champions who lost to us earlier in the season, so you knew they were like, fuck these guys.
Oh, now that I'm thinking about what you asked me beforehand, I think I know what you're talking about with like record milestones?
Let's see real quick. So,
yes.
The main takeaway from this one. There's three takeaways, maybe. I don't know. I got to think about this as I go.
Yeah,
Hawks score 7 seconds into the game. Landon Slaggert. Who was it that chipped it up? Was it Donato?
Maybe
that won the draw like right through the feet, and then just fucking Slaggert just like a fucking bullet out of the gun just flew up. Nice little 5-goal goal on Bobrovsky.
Donato has the face off. Yeah, he just chips it there, and Slaggert little forehand backhand right between the legs.
5-hole Bob wasn't even fucking ready. Vaca hasn't settled on his stomach yet, so he still was a little let's go.
People still finding their seats.
Yes. 7 seconds into the game, it's the fastest goal in franchise history.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a second stat to this. I mean, technically we could talk about it at the end of the game, but Hawks is this one 5-1. Do you know the second stat that I'm thinking of? There's another first that has happened with this goal.
Oh, really?
And it's NHL history, not just Blackhawks. NHL history.
Is it the fastest goal scored on a defending champion?
No.
Okay.
It's not good.
Oh, it's not good.
No.
What is it? Is it the fastest goal and only goal in the game?
So they're the first team in the NHL history to score a goal 8 seconds or less to start a game and not score a goal the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what I was kind of like. That's what it's going to be.
You're kind of getting it, but yeah. First time in NHL history. So even when we suck, we're making history in the league.
It's funny when you mentioned that the Hawks had beat Florida earlier this year. I specifically remember that I'm pretty sure. I remember Paul Maurice saying this, and I'm pretty sure that the game was on ESPN Plus again, because I think he was saying it to Emily Kaplan, where they had issues winning at the United Center, and he was just like, "Yeah, we play terribly here."
Yeah,
and so that's what they lost. And I thought it was funny that like them beating the Hawks at home, they mentioned that that's like 8 straight home wins against the Hawks, which is their longest right now against any team of consecutive home victories. So it's kind of funny. Like, I guess the Hawks and the Panthers, like when we play each other, it's like if whoever's at home is who's going to win. And like, it doesn't matter how good the teams are. But anyway, another one that I thought you might have mentioned was Paul Maurice's 900th NHL win as well.
Only the fourth coach to do that.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, Paul Maurice he's a great coach, and
yeah,
it just makes it even funnier. Him just saying peace out to Winnipeg, and just like everybody thinking like, oh, there's something wrong, and then he's like almost instantly back.
Yeah. This was the other thing too was like it was another, I guess you can say milestone, but it's like Sam Reinhart hit 30 goals again for the fourth straight year. Because the shortened season.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too. So first off, I feel for Peter Mrazek in this one. I mean, he picks up the loss. He still makes 39 saves. There was something like, what was it, like through the first first period and a half or something like that they had like 37, or was it the first period they had like 37 shot attempts from Florida or like something like absolutely ridiculous.
It was something like close to 40 in the first period.
Yeah.
And they were out shooting them. And I mean, before they adjusted it, I think it was 20-2. And then it got adjusted to 22-44 as the official stat. It was surprising though, because like in the second period, it just shows like, I mean, total shots, but I think the Hawks had started the second with, clawing their way back a little bit in shots, and then it's kind of fell off.
Yeah, they so looking at natural stat trick, scoring chances for, or shots for, it doesn't say shot attempts. That's kind of lame. They have everything else, but then they have shot attempts. Anyway, scoring chances for the Panthers 27-5 in the first, and high dangers was 15-1. I guess we know what that one was for the Hawks.
Yeah, right.
But then, like, scoring.
You mean you're telling me that they went 100% on high danger chances? I think that means they're pretty goddamn good, right?
Yeah, right. Then you got, where was it? Second period was when the Hawks kind of clawed back a little bit, holding Florida just to 14 scoring chances for. They're getting 12 scoring chances for the Hawks. But again, the Panthers just taking advantage of high danger opportunities, getting 7 high danger chances to the Hawks 3. And then it's like, okay, Florida's like, all right, well, let's let Chicago have a bone here, because Chicago had 9 scoring chances, 4 to their 8 and 3 to their 2 for high danger. So just not going to do it. Just, it was a very ugly game. And of course, one thing that's like frustrating with this, I mean, is now that, I don't know if you saw practice lineups.
I've not.
Practice, the Blender's out in full force once again.
Of course.
And it's the last I saw was Slaggert, Bedard, and Donato on the top line.
I'm pretty sure that's how the game ended.
Is that how it ended? I don't think I saw the last couple minutes of the game on Saturday. So, but anyways, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you can't be upset, because we know what this team is, and you're playing the defending Stanley Cup champions who are looking good at potential, making an attempt to repeat. But at the same time, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I think that what's frustrating is like we saw how good it looked with Bedsy and little Frankie together. Like we don't need, like, can we stop like putting the blender on? Like, let them just play together and build chemistry.
Can you put the blender off for lines 2 through 4?
Yeah.
Give Bedard some consistency.
Yes.
Let him cook. Like, let him learn to play with these guys. I mean, I know it's nothing set. I mean, there's going to be more pieces coming in, next year, and the line's going to change anyways. But you still want these young guys to get to know to play at each other, because at the end of the day, that's who you hope is going to be here long term and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's what we harp on all the time when we talk about this team. And it's just, I don't understand why you don't just give those two a shot and rotate their partner, because then at least there's the familiarity with the two of them,
Yeah. I was looking at face-offs because I thought this was kind of interesting. Jason Dickinson did a lot of face-offs, but Bedsy, guess what his face-off percentage was against Florida?
63.4.
Jesus Christ, 64.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's a 63.6. So I didn't want to.
But yeah, it went 7 for 11.
7 for 11. Okay.
Also, guess what his face-off percentage? Well, he's not taking a ton of draws, but like when he has been, he's been doing a little bit better. But you can disagree easily with other games. But against Tampa, he took 6 faceoffs, and guess how many he won?
5.
5.
Was that? Did we talk? I think we talked about that. That's why I knew.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's like little things like that I get excited about.
I mean, it's the type. This is the season you let that. It's the small victories. You let him develop, and again, we talked about it. That I think
Jason Dickinson went 9 for 21 against Florida. Yikes!
He's probably going against the top lines too.
I think he's probably going against Barkov the whole time. Oh, Barkov only went 5 for 12. Actually. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's I got to just treat Bedard with the faceoff. Give him a handful here and there, and then when it comes time to the matters, if he's not getting the job done, then it's like, okay, bud, you got to go to the wing because you can't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to do.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know that this was a thing. This is so good. I never actually looked at this, but you have a face-off comparison chart, and Bedsy actually went 2 for 3 against Alexander Barkov and 3 for 5 against Anton Lindell.
Okay.
And then he went 0 for 1 against Evan Rodriguez and went 2 for 2 against Thomas Nosek. Thomas Nosek. I didn't know that they had this like broken down this way. This is great.
Where's that on?
It's on NHL.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. On the right side, on the under game reports, face-off comparison. I never looked that far.
Cool. Why don't you put all the the information that people want to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
By the way, Ovechkin, another goal.
Is he? Is he really?
Empty net goal with 0.1 second left.
Oh, baby.
17 away from breaking Gretz.
I can't wait till he ends up getting like the most ridiculous goal to break the record. Kind of like, remember when Yager attained like second all time in points and it was like a shot off his ass?
Mm-hmm.
So
funny. It's gonna be something really stupid. Like, and people are gonna be like, is that really how we're gonna see the great one go down? Mm-hmm. Like that?
Yeah.
Yes, we are overrated bitch.
You little bitch.
But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating things from that game, but I mean, there is some positive takeaways. I think again, you're continuing to just see that the development of the young players is right. Like,
I just remembered. What were your thoughts on Messier fucking making comments about Bedsy?
Like, I didn't even hear it. And when I saw people quote tweeting and stuff and saying it, and I'm just like, it's gonna probably be something stupid, so I'm not even gonna like give it the time of day.
He was really just kind of like, he already thinks he deserves all this ice time because he thinks he's a superstar, but like he needs to sit because of like the lackadaisical defense that he was playing on like the one goal, and it's just like, buddy, what the fuck?
There was one goal that I'll give Messier that Bedard definitely should have did something.
Yeah, his stick was like he wasn't hard enough on his stick. I bet that's also like he's fucking 19, like, and going as hard as you can against somebody that's much older, that's been in the league longer, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you.
Did he compare it to like Michkov's situation? Did I see that right?
I don't know. I stopped listening to him after I was like listening to that bullshit.
I swore I thought I saw somebody say like, "Oh yeah," like trying to compare it to Michkov and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, here's the difference: Michkov isn't the guy in Philly. They want him to, but they're not running their team through Michkov.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Blackhawks are running through Bedard, and Bedard is the main feature of this team. And without Bedard, this team is like way fucking worse than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can appreciate.
Can you imagine where this team would actually be if we didn't have Bedard and we had like Fantilli?
I like Fantilli, but I just don't think it would be.
I like Fantilli, but it would not be anywhere near what it is. People would be shitting on us so much harder. And then
maybe they wouldn't though, because we don't have Bedard, so it would be like, okay, well, it's not like they have anybody that's generational.
Yeah.
Quote unquote generational. I'm sick of that term too, by the way.
Dude, fucking Travis Konechny's disgusting.
But yeah, let's say look at like the guys that Philly have. Yeah, they're not
Mhm.
doing great, but they have very good pieces in place, veteran pieces.
Philly's
That
not doing good. Are they not? I guess.
I
I
thought
mean,
they
they're
were.
not a playoff spot, are they?
I mean, I thought they were kind of in sell off mode. They're one of the teams that I think are selling off so they can have as much cap space going into the summer as possible.
Yeah, they only have 52 points. I mean, technically, they're only 8 points out of a playoff spot, but
Everybody's
true.
in the East right now, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I can appreciate what Messier is saying, just in the fact that yes, if this is a normal rookie in a different situation, I can understand it. But this isn't just a normal rookie, and
Mm-mm.
this is not a normal situation.
Nope.
So shut the fuck up, you bald piece of shit, and go enjoy talking with PK Subban every night.
It's like, didn't he fucking not even try to play that hard when he was in Vancouver? Like, isn't that the whole thing that Vancouver fans are always upset about? Is like he basically like got Trevor Linden the fuck out of there, took his captaincy, and then did fuck all there.
I believe so. That sounds right. Because Vancouver hates him.
Oh yeah,
Like there was
dude,
like a whole thing. Yeah,
you're gonna tell me somebody's not playing hard and they think they deserve all the ice time, and that's what you fucking did? Get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
I guess you can
So,
say you can talk because you know from experience.
yeah, taste one and no one. But you know what? Right now he's got more room to talk at the Hots because I mean the Hots aren't doing fucking anything right now. But with that loss, the Hawks wrapped up that 3-game road trip, which saw the 4-1 win against Tampa, 3-2 loss to Carolina, and then obviously the 5-1 loss against Florida. And it's just crazy. Like it's like the tales of two teams. It's like you have the team that when you put it all together and stay focused and you're gelling, you could beat anybody in the league, beat Tampa. You have the team that might not be there, but they're not going to give up and they lose by 1 to Carolina. And then you have the team that just who knows what the fuck was going on, just wanted to get fucking home or something. I don't know. And then get their asses kicked by Florida.
Yeah, I mean they were just dominating in their own zone against Florida, which is tough. I think that the thing in the Florida game too that really shows is like the Hawks are a little too soft. Like Florida was just getting it deep and pounding them, and then they wouldn't like get the puck out hard. They'd be like more timid along the boards. I'm just like, oh, they're just getting bullied right now. It doesn't help that also Crevier got hurt too.
Yeah, he got concussion. Fucking rocked in the head.
Which is crazy with all like the discussions on like these head hits that like that one didn't get a lot more attention than it did. It didn't really get any attention. I'm just like, he hit him squarely in the fucking jaw.
I don't know what's crazy to me. Not even like, it was like, yeah, he didn't get attention. Not for the fact that what you're talking about, but the fact that fucking 6'8" Louis Crevier gets fucking rocked in the head. Like that to me is like, holy shit. Like the Twin Tower goes down. Tower 1.
Oh God.
Yeah. So all right. So upcoming, the Hawks have 3 more games up until the 4 Nations break. First up is Edmonton tonight or tomorrow or tonight, depending on when you listen to this. It's an 8:30 game, TNT, so that means it's a fucking national broadcast. So the Hawks are gonna get their dicks kicked in. Their season series is 1-1 right now. The Hawks pick up the first win in October, 5-2. Oilers picked up the last meeting win, 4-3. This will be the last time these two teams face off this year. Then you have Friday again in Chicago. Nashville comes to town, who have just had our number this year. 0-2. Both games were 3-2 wins by the Predators. One was that stupid comeback, right?
Sure.
2-1, and then there's something that's just 2 unanswered goals or something like that. And then Saturday, the last game before the break, St. Louis Blues in St. Louis will be the first time they face off since the Winter Classic, which we all know how that went. And just a nice reminder to tell you how bad that went. both teams will be wearing their Winter Classic game jerseys in this one as well. So
They gotta run it back.
Nice little reminder. Hopefully, there's a little bit better luck there this time around.
Yeah, I like how we have 3 days off and then 3 games in 4 days. It's like, okay, like let's not spread it out. It's fine.
And then we don't play again until the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a nice little break there. Hopefully the boys go on some trips. Sounds like a lot of players going to Mexico. So hopefully
they come back.
They come back, yes. Except for Teravainen, we know he'll be fine.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that. Before we get into your farm report, the only really other news coming out of Chicago right now, and don't bring it up because it doesn't really mean anything in terms of game action and all that, but Blackhawks called up Levshunov to be with the team during the Rockford Ice Hogs, the AHL All-Star break. No intention on him playing any games. He is essentially getting the experience that he missed out when he was injured from training camp. Practicing with the team, being around the team, and kind of going through the process. What did you think of this move from Kyle Davison and the team?
I think it's awesome. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Just get him more comfortable with some of the guys that he's going to end up playing with in the future. Get some more insight from guys that are literally in the NHL rather than just learning from the guys in the A, which is typically a lot of it. I mean, that team is full of just guys his age anyway, right, or slightly older, but practicing alongside of Connor Murphy, Seth Jones, they're both on the right side, getting to learn from them as much as it's please be better than them, but still see how it's a little bit different, get some pointers. It's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a really, really smart move, and it's kind of interesting. You don't see more teams doing this, especially with prospects that that are high regard, second overall pick, that's a guy that they see being a big part of the future of this team. And it just I just like it. Show him what he's playing, training to get to and all that. And I'm kind of hoping in practices he's kind of just watching Seth Jones do his thing and just be like, I'm replacing your ass. And then but yeah, I mean,
they're gonna move you so that I can play.
Yeah. So I know he hasn't had the best start to his professional career over here, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
It's like everybody assumed he was gonna be already super really awesome and ready to play in the NHL, and didn't realize that it's more of a project of this guy has all the pieces. We just got to help him put it all together, and he can be a really fucking good defenseman. And it's nobody gets that. Every time I see people are like, "Oh, I went and saw a fucking Ice Hogs game, and Levshunov looked real rough." It's yeah, dude, he's rough around the edges right now. He's still what, 18 or 19 years old?
He's 19. Yeah, I think he just turned 19 a few months ago.
It's Korchinski's an AHL All-Star, but we all saw what happened last year when he was playing in the show. And I think Korchinski was probably further along, but the ceiling for Levshunov is just so much higher.
And I mean, he's not doing too bad. I mean, 38 games, 3 goals, 10 assists. He's only a -5. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just so frustrating. And it's the more I think about it, and I think I mentioned into this before, and it's I really hope it turns out to be like this, if there's what I want from Levshunov is the cider treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was furious.
Good.
When the Red Wings took him at 6, said it was a fucking reach and all this, and just the amount of tweets, you look back at the tweets from that draft, and just the amount of Detroit fans absolutely furious about that. And look at him now, Calder winner. He's gonna be a Norris Trophy winner at some point in his career. He is arguably not a number 1 guy, but he's definitely a top 2 guy. I think he's a top pair guy. absolutely filthy out there, and it's
I remember
just.
who was taken after him that people were pissed about.
I think it's just because I don't think he was on anybody's board for that high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was like anybody specifically.
Well, I just want to see like who was
Who
left
ended
on
up
the
going
table.
after him.
Dylan Cousins, Philip Broberg, Trevor Zegras, Podkolzin, Matthew Boldy, Spencer Knight, Caulfield. Yeah, I think that people were just like, how do you pass up like any of these guys? And technically, based off of like hockey references, like point share, he's second in that draft class, just behind Jack Hughes.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And how many? And he took what, 2 years to come over?
Yeah. Well, he played in the A. He played 1 year in Germany, and then I think he played another year in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And then made the jump.
So it was like 2 years from his draft to actually making the jump to the NHL.
Yeah, because he was drafted 2019, and he played 2021, 22 season was his first year.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that is what I want for Levshunov. I want to be looking back in like 5 years and be like, God, those people are fucking stupid for ever questioning. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, there's a good chance, like, you know what? People could be right. You might not pan out. I mean, you're banking on a fucking kid, your child, of what they're gonna do and develop into. But it's like, yeah, I'm hoping that he ends up turning out to be as projected.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see the people that were hating on him hand up and just be like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Especially if Kantonoff or whatever becomes like the top guy, so we don't need Demidov. You know what I mean? Like,
Kanserov.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
I was like, who are you talking about?
Kanserov, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so it's like if we have pieces in place that it's like, okay, Demidov wouldn't have made a difference anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be perfect for me in that situation. But speaking of that too, one more thing, just off topic, just venting. Can we fucking stop tagging the Blackhawks anytime Demidov or Patrick Kane does something?
Yeah. Great.
Way to go, why guys. Do you have to associate? Like, there's no reason to associate them to the Hawks anymore.
Is it just more noticeable because the Hawks are getting tagged, or does that happen with any other teams? Like, I know that like Buffalo gets shat on like national broadcasts whenever Florida's playing, but like, does anybody ever put like, oh, Sam Reinhart, fourth 30-goal season, hashtag Florida Panthers, hashtag Buffalo Sabres? Like, does that happen? I don't fucking think so.
I think so. This could just be because my algorithm is obviously geared towards Blackhawks stuff, so I see it more. But I honestly do not recall seeing other teams with that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, yeah. Are they tagging? Because he went 4th to Montreal, right?
He went 5th. No, 4th was Caden Lindstrom to Columbus.
So are they tagging Columbus? Are they tagging Anaheim? Like, no, those teams passed on them too.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy that like our team took a defenseman, 2 other teams took forwards before Demidov was taken, but it's our fault that he.
But you got to associate like, oh, the KD doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't take Demidov. Okay, well, what about the other GMs of fucking Columbus and Anaheim? What are they doing?
It was like they went Beckett Seneke, who was like so far off the board, he was surprised.
Yeah, that might be the greatest like draft reaction ever.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking hilarious. And then he doesn't even make fucking Team Canada. So isn't that great?
Oh, Levshunov's enjoying his time in Chicago at the Bulls game right now. That was Instagram story. Good for him. Good for the kid.
Hey, way to go, bud.
But yeah, it's just so stupid. Like, I want to be able just to skip like 3 years in because I can't stand listening to some of these fucking moronic takes from either the Hawks fan base or just hockey fan base in general. You know, like, especially anything regarding the Hawks, like, ugh.
Everybody just likes to make it be more known because they hate us. They hate us because they ain't us.
Yep, exactly. So, all right. Do you have any other Hawks news to talk about?
No.
All right, let's head to the farm.
Let's head to the farm. Oh, all right. Well, other than Levshunov getting called up, I'm wondering he's going to get sent back down. I'm sure it's probably like end of the week before it's like that.
Rockford plays again on the 7th, so
Okay, so
probably. I bet you they keep him around for tomorrow's game.
You think so? That'd be good.
I think so. I think just to be around the team for a game day.
Also, speaking of Rockford, kind of mentioned it earlier. Korchinski went to the. He's an AHL All-Star. He was a late addition, and it originally was just little Frankie Nazer, and then Cole Gutman was replacing him. Korchinski late addition. Korchinski also named the AHL All-Star Challenge MVP. I think it said he had a goal and like 3 assists or something.
He's a fucking filthy shootout goal too.
Did he really? I didn't see any of the highlights.
Unfucking dress the goalie. It was fucking sick.
That's nasty.
Kind of changed my mind about potentially trading him if we need to.
No, man. It's one of those things where like maybe we can get even better like forward prospect. If we get first overall and Schaefer still like heads and fucking leaps and bounds above like the next people, it's kind of got to do it. Anyway, speaking of forwards, Nick Lardis, might have heard of him. The kid's a fucking over a goal per game scorer now because
point. Goal.
Yeah. He went into the last game that he played with 45 goals in 46 games. And then he ended up scoring 4 goals. 44 goals. Sorry, because I can't fucking math. So he ended up scoring 4 goals, and now he has 48 goals in 47 games. Also 33 assists. I looked at his stats like on his team, and he's got like well over 100 more shots than like the next person, just shots taken. And that's shots on net. So I'm curious to see like how many shots he's just, throwing, just whipping shots.
He's so fucking good, man. And that's going to be one of those picks that's like, holy shit, what a steal if he can translate that to the NHL play.
Absolutely. I agree. Some other things, Roman Kantsarov, who we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, Elite Prospects just released, or not just released, they had an article that was posted yesterday on the 3rd about Russian Stock Watch, and it says Roman Kantsarov emerging as a top prospect for Chicago Blackhawks. And it's just like, yeah, man, that's fucking great. It says his package of smarts, skill, and speed have culminated in a major contributor to dangerous offense. Oof, it's nice. I don't want to go on because it says actually, well, however, the projection to the NHL is still one that is tricky. It's like, yeah, that's what happens with all the KHL players.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he still has 1 more year on his KHL deal. And you sure as hell they're going to do fucking whatever they can to keep him.
Yes.
So, the last game of the KHL season next year, we'll have to freaking help him defect. I'll volunteer to go get him.
Yeah, we'll go pick him up. Get him back over here. Let's see. Other big ones. I mean, Slaggert has looked really good on the Hawks.
Do you think Slaggert stays, or do you think he goes back down at some point?
Probably goes back down just because of injuries. I'm assuming when Craig Smith comes back and Louis Crevier comes back, like they're going to be too full.
Yeah, they got a fucking shit ton of defensemen right now on the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I really enjoyed watching like Del Mastro play up on the squad too. I feel like it's one of those things where at some point it's going to break. Right, we have too many defensemen, and right now I feel like Nolan Allen, Wyatt Kaiser, and Del Mastro are like all fighting for the same spot. And
see, I think I personally think Kaiser is the odd man out right now. I think that Nolan Allen has really made a name for himself this season, and they are it seems like they're very high on Del Mastro. Like they liked him last year, they like him this year, and they're doing it like the right way.
I think Del Mastro's size is a real big contributor to him, being so well liked because he also has speed to go with it. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like if they're all very similar defensively, the guy that's a little bit quicker and has more range, that's who I would say keep. And he's definitely passed the eye test for me when I watched him out there. Just some other like stat updates. Alex Farrand on the Sudbury Wolves, he's a point per game, 44 points in 44 games. That Jack Pridham, who started in the BCHL and moved up to the OHL, is over a point per game. He's got 32, 16 and 16 in 31 games. Let's see. Mark Messier, there's a highlight recently. He scored a sick overtime winner.
Oh, yeah.
Like last week or something like that, where he just dances the defenseman and then he just goes like right to left on the goalie and then just shovels it like top shelf like glove side. It's so nasty. I love it. Can't wait. Aiden Thompson's, I think, still leading his team at University of Denver. He's got 32 and 26. I'm pretty sure that there's still talks that he's likely to sign at the end of the year. Do you know?
I think I've seen that. I don't know.
He's not
if it's
leading
like
the team.
No, I think he was one of the names that was anticipated. Yeah, I mean, he's done with Denver this year.
It's him, more Ryan Green and Renzel.
Yeah, those four, I believe. Maybe it wasn't Thompson that I saw. Because Green sounds familiar, and then obviously the two Minnesota guys. But I would have to assume Thompson, like,
yeah,
they would at least give him a look.
Yeah, I don't see why not, especially since like he's one of 97 players like nominated for the Obi Baker.
Right.
It may just be like a thing where because he's already 22, and they're kind of like we're going to be pretty full pretty soon.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
You can buy him a shot.
I mean, you can also just see if Oliver Moore is interested in staying at University of Minnesota for another season.
See how that goes. Yeah, that's if he's still on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's about it. There's nothing else that's really like popping out. Just looking at stats. That's all I got. Whatever.
All right. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll do a quick NHL talk here. Into it because I mean, there's not much to affect the Hawks. Whatever, fuck it. Big thing that does affect the Hawks, though, it doesn't involve the NHL. This came out after we recorded. Or did it come? We talked about last week, the salary cap.
No, we did not talk about it.
All right. So the salary cap got announced. Yeah, it just came out on Friday. So it was confirmed for next season, and they right now have projection for the next 2 seasons, which is a number that could still change, but this is what they are anticipating. So this upcoming season is going to be $95.5 million cap with a lower limit of $70.6 million. And the following year for the 26-27 season, you are looking at $104 million at the cap and $76.9 million for the lower limit. And then in the 27-28 season, you're looking at $113.5 million with a limit of $83.9. So big jumps. It's crazy to look at that lower limit for the 27-28 season. That it's like the salary cap was just there.
Yeah,
it was the cap just 1 season ago.
Yeah,
Austin is get in there. We're able to do this.
If Arizona was still a team, the ownership would be fucking rolling in their graves. They would just be like, you want me to spend how much on this team?
And that is what's going to get really fucking interesting because they've been talking about it. Like you listen to 32 Thoughts talk about it, and everybody has some sort of a say in hockey news and all that. Is that one? It's going to create probably tiers where XYZ teams are going to be. Yeah, they're going to be tiers where only certain teams are going to spend, because then you got teams like Winnipeg who is going to get screwed twice because they don't have a lot of revenue coming in from a small market, and they're also a Canadian team. They were saying it was something along the lines of like by that 27-28 salary cap. If you convert the Canadian dollars to Canadian dollar, it's like $163 million or something is the cap. So it's like there's some concern there. Plus, you don't know what's going to happen in the next few years with all the shit that's going on in the political world and the economy and all that kind of stuff. So who knows what the health is going to be like going into the future of this.
Yeah,
which
maybe we'll start like a political report on our.
Yeah, but it's just crazy because it's like that's the shit you gotta like people don't think about, but I mean it does play a huge factor into it, and God forbid there's another COVID situation that comes out of nowhere, like there's so many factors that can still change this, but Hawks gonna have money, they're gonna have some money to spend.
Yep.
And if Seth Jones sticks around through all 3 years and the cap goes up that high, only 8% of the team's salary cap is going to go to Steph Jones, which not too shabby.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue at that point is not the salary cap, it's the roster spot, right?
You're right, 100%.
But it could be worse.
100%. Other news,
trades.
Well, real quick, IIHF ruled yesterday that Russia and Belarus will still be forbidden from competing in international competitions for the 25-26 season. This only includes anything that's ran by the IIHF. There's a chance the Olympics will let them to play, but I highly doubt it. But that's up to the IOC. That you never know. I mean, they're crooked enough that a nice little bribe could change it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see Russia get stomped in the Olympics?
100%. Even though I think Russia would fucking probably be a top team for hockey.
They would probably be pretty okay. They have probably
their goaltending would be phenomenal.
I was gonna say their goaltending is like them and US would be like the craziest goaltending trio matchup.
Yeah, I agree. So
it's just how it is.
All right, last thing. Let's talk some of the trades. Do you have them?
Yeah. I'll just start it from like after the Hawks made that trade. Anything that's these ones aren't really anything crazy, but Philly and Calgary made a trade where the Flyers sent over Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost to the Flames for Andrei Kuzmenko, Jacob Pelletier, and a 2025 second rounder and 2028 seventh rounder, which is so funny because I saw somewhere online, I forgot who posted it, but it's just like, I feel it was something along the lines of like, man, I feel so vindicated for like all those times in EA NHL where like I'm trying to make a trade go through and I end up just tossing a seventh in and then it gets accepted. And like, that's how this one feels.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like, here's one in like 3-4 years from now. Like, please let it go through. Oh, thank God. And so funny. To me, it's hilarious that Kuzmenko is now on his third team in the last 2 seasons. It's like every time I've seen him play against us, I'm like, Jesus, like he's pretty good. Like he's quick. And then that Pelletier kid, he was on waivers this beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And nobody picked him up. And I was kind of like, why don't we I was saying in our group chat, I was like, we should pick this kid up. Like he's probably got something still in him. Like he was a first rounder. Like why not? We didn't. Great. Thanks, KD, for not listening to me. It's like whatever. But I think it's like Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. I don't know what kind of seasons they were having, but I'm pretty sure that like Morgan Frost was like a rumored trade candidate from Philly like this whole season.
He was connected to the Hawks at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely felt this trade was a change of scenery trade.
Yeah.
And to go back to what I said earlier, Philly clearinghouse. So I think all the guys they have are on expiring deals or very team-friendly deals that they're going to have a lot of cap space to go into the summer.
It's just interesting to me that like they moved on from Frost and Farabee, who were 24 and 25 years old. And like, do you really, I don't know. I feel like they could have held on to those guys and like probably gotten more for them in a year or two.
I don't think that for whatever reason they just weren't fans of them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like this move for Calgary too. I mean, it gives them some nice like pieces. It's not going to be a game changer that's going to help them win the Stanley Cup, but I definitely think it's going to help keep them in the hunt for a playoff spot, like, and just keep this awesome season they have going.
Yeah, I think it'll be helpful. Yeah, I'll just move on to the next one. The Rangers made a trade with the Vancouver Canucks. JT Miller finally gets moved. I'm still curious. I want to know what the deal was with like the time off that he took this season, like what was going on there. But it's the full trade is JT Miller, Eric Brandstrom, and then Jackson Dorrington, who was a 6th rounder in 2022, to the Rangers from Vancouver. And Vancouver gets Philip Hedl, Victor Mancini, and a conditional 2025 first-round pick, which is top 13 protected.
But that won't matter for the Vancouver. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just like, I understand. Are they trying to say, like, if it was only top 10 protected and, like, I don't understand the top 13. Because, like, if you're at 13 and you win the lottery, you move up to 3. Wouldn't that still make it top 10 protected? Like, they're like, okay, wait. If it's 11, 12, or 13, we want those ones too. But 14 can fuck off.
Yeah, I think it's just because, the opportunity to be top 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just gives them that extra because the way their season's going, it maybe they're projected. They're looking at.
But the second that it becomes a 3rd, wouldn't that just make it top 10 protected? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It was just so weird. So like this trade, I was like, wow. Dude, fucking the Rangers, man. Like, they really don't give up a lot when guys want to go there. Like, we didn't really get shit when Kane wanted to go there. And Vancouver didn't really get fucking anything when JT Miller wanted to go there. But it's also like, what do you do?
I look at this trade, though, as in theory, it's a 3-team trade.
Yeah, that's true.
But before
I still think it's a terrible return.
No, 100%. But that's why I kind of think that's how they justify it a little bit with Vancouver. But before we move on to that's part of that trade, or technically the other trade, they still have to trade Pettersson, right? Like they need to just fucking clear.
I thought that's what the plan was, and then I think on 32 Thoughts they were saying, let's see how it settles for now and see if like Pettersson can take steps in the right direction. But I just think it's funny that like you take JT Miller away from somebody who's apparently soft, and then you get him on New York where Zibanejad is, and like he's had issues with being soft.
Well, maybe there's more. Maybe it's a younger player thing. Maybe he's got a little bit more respect for Zibanejad and all that.
It could be. I think that Zibanejad came out and said that he likes his fire and how much he talks.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean,
wonder if he's just saying that though. He
had about 2 goals and assists in the first 2 games back with them.
Yeah, he scored two goals in the first game for sure.
Yeah,
so might have had an assist. But yeah, so the second Vancouver trade, which they took that first rounder that they just got and flipped it alongside of Danton Heinen, Vincent Desharnais, and Melvin Fernstrom. I don't know who Melvin Fernstrom is. Was it?
It's not a real name.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not a
third rounder in 2024.
That's your fucking 2024 or 2032, 2033 generated draft class name right there.
That's right. So they ended up getting Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor back in that trade. I'm pretty sure, wasn't Danton Heinen like already in Pittsburgh? Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, in 22-23 and 21-22. So it's like
I just like the Vancouver Canucks like, oh, JT Miller, you don't like Pettersson? We're gonna get all the Petterssons now.
Yeah, dude, they're collecting the Petterssons. Are there any more Petterssons in the league? Like, get 2
I know,
more?
but I also thought it's funny that they put Elias Pettersson, the quote unquote good one, just has Pettersson in his jersey, and the other Elias Pettersson's got E. Pettersson. And then you got M. Pettersson. And it's
That's
like, well,
really funny.
but it's like even Elias Pettersson, I mean, they're both E. So it's like
Yeah.
you got to essentially just put the entire name on there because it's like, how do you differentiate them with a number? Like,
I don't know.
I think the first initial thing is so stupid. That's why there's numbers.
Yeah, it's very true. It's like, oh, like, what if they're numbered 21 and 22? Like, who cares?
Blackhawks didn't do it for the Jones.
Yeah, they don't need to. They're clearly different people.
Sedin's, I understand. That one I understood.
I was trying to think of like there was the clip of the Vancouver broadcaster who's like, tonight in the lineup we have Elias Pettersson, Marcus Pettersson, and Elias Pettersson. I think that they pronounce their names differently. And he's just like, hey, may God have mercy on my soul. It's just it's just so funny.
That's amazing.
Another surprising kind of trade, which everybody's just apparently wants to pay San Jose like a first rounder for everything. So Mikael Granlund and Cody Ceci go to the Dallas Stars for a first rounder in 2025 and a conditional fourth in 2025.
That turns to a third if the Stars win the cup.
If they reach the cup final.
Oh, is it just reach the cup final?
Yeah.
I think what Chaos might have messed that one up. I think they said if they win the cup.
Which is just like, oh, how are you getting a first and a fourth, possibly a third for Granlund and Ceci?
Here's my take with that. Is it really a first round pick or is it an early second?
Yeah, that's true. But it's still...
It's frustrating and annoying because everybody will take that like, oh, look at what the Stars got they got a first round pick from this, and the Blackhawks only got a third pick, their own third pick back.
Yeah, and then
that's the annoying thing about it.
In all like reality, those picks are 30 apart because you're getting probably pick like 30 from Dallas, right? And then the Hawks are getting basically pick 65 back. Yeah, so it's like, they're like 35 spots apart, but it's a first and a third. That's the difference. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just, what is it really? Mikael Granlund was really worth a first. I guess if you're desperate enough and you're in Dallas's place, because Sagan's on the IR.
Sagan's on the IR.
Heiskanen's on the IR. Nils Lundqvist is on the IR.
And he's out month to month. He just had knee surgery today.
Heiskanen is?
Mm-hmm.
It still says week to week here.
Yeah, I think they just updated that he had surgery today, or today they had surgery.
It's not updated fully. It has the report, but it still says week to week. So it does say month to month in the report.
That's why it's so funny because literally I saw like the news like, oh, they put so and so on LTIR and then this person's out forever. I'm just like, oh, everything's coming up for a nice little Blackhawks Dallas Stars Seth Jones trade. And then literally I shared it to our Instagram story. The Kevin Waits looks like the Dallas Stars are going to be picking up Granlund and Ceci. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Cody, like, I don't understand Cody Ceci. I guess he's on the last year of his deal.
Yeah. So.
And Granlund's the same. Like, they probably don't want to like add a bunch of cap when they want to re-sign a bunch of guys. Whatever. Way to go, So it's it's that little meme, the little angry black kid. It's just like, happy for you.
Congrats. So happy for you.
Like,
but
way to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and that's the thing too. It's like people are gonna look at that and like, oh, well, why aren't the Hawks doing like that? Technically, like, I agree with you that that haul wasn't worth a first round pick. The Hawks definitely don't have what's worth a first round pick. At least nothing that we want to trade.
True.
I mean, I don't think we would get a first round pick for Seth Jones.
Yeah, we would. I think that everybody just has a lot of hate for him and doesn't realize
I just
valuable
think that,
he is as a player. That he would easily get a first. He would easily get a first plus.
Yeah. No, I just don't think it'd be like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to try to make his contract. I think you got to get out of your, like, everybody's got to get out of their mind that a trade's coming this season before the deadline for Seth Jones.
Oh yeah, that's not happening.
I think, yeah, it's got to be, I mean,
when
the right team with the cap
books
going up
are opened up more, you know, when teams are looking for this same type of players, and like now a player that's around a Seth Jones is going to be looking at 10+ million, and you can have Seth Jones for 9.5.
And what's really going to help the Hawks situation when trying to deal Seth Jones is, with the cap situation spelled out, I think they can get away with not eating as much or retaining as much salary as people think.
I don't think that the Hawks are going to have to retain on Seth Jones at all. I think everybody's just a little baby back bitch that thinks that Seth Jones is worthless and that nobody's going to want him. And I can guarantee you that there's plenty of teams that'll fucking take him full salary.
Now I do. I agree with you now. I think that before, when there was cap uncertainty, I think you had to eat some salary.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you that now is a different situation. It's a whole new ball game. So,
ooh, yeah. I'm just looking at teams that like who would need, like, if you're Florida, right? And Aaron Ekblad's on his last year of his contract, and he wants to re-sign. I mean, Florida's got the advantage of like no state income tax. Mm-hmm. But he wants to re-sign, and he sees, you know, Seth Jones has 9.5. Don't you think that he would want to be at that or higher?
I think Ekblad's at that point, though.
If you're in Florida and you don't have that much cap, do you try and make a trade for somebody rather than like doing all that?
If Ekblad's asking for more than Seth Jones, at Seth Jones or more, I'm like, have fun, see ya.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great defenseman, but he's just too injury prone at this point, and I don't think he's in the lineup enough to justify that.
So I think, like, dude, fucking Nashville, send him back to Nashville. I'm looking at the depth charts on like who's the first pairing right defense on all these teams, and it's really funny seeing Tony DeAngelo as the one for the Islanders making $775K, but they have injury issues.
Yeah, so I mean,
let's make some trades.
Let's do some trades. There is no trade roster freeze with the Four Nations, which is interesting. So, I mean, we could see a lot more moves, but there's also going to be, I think, a dead period, because I don't think people are going to be so eager to hurry up and make moves when there's no point. So,
I think they'll probably, let guys relax.
I think we're in for a pretty boring trade deadline this year. I kind of feel like some of the big moves have already. Oh shit! Sorry. Some of the big moves have already hit.
I think so too. But there's still some like smaller ones to come.
Yeah,
teams are going to make their little tweaks. Like, teams near the top of the standings are all going to try and acquire, even if it's something.
Especially in the East. The East is a freaking arms race right now. So
I'm curious what the Capitals do, because like before we end, Logan Thompson, what an insane season so far. I think we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Jesus Christ.
Do you think the Capitals kind of regret that move, or do you think he regrets the move? I mean, for signing what he signed now that the cap information came out?
I could see that, yeah. Yeah, because he's only making a nut hair under fucking 6. And if he honestly plays just as good next year, he's gonna be real pissed.
Yeah. So, all right, episode 308. What do you want to call it?
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it was the Florida game.
The Florida game.
That's all I got. That's all I can think of.
How about just 7? What about 7 seconds?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, the big two. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video if you're checking out for the first time. Hopefully we'll get another watch along here soon. But yeah, make sure to just follow along everywhere, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Look, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.